Hello, everybody. So this is a very casual video, as you can probably tell by the quality and my lack of like makeup and whatever. So yeah. But today I was just like really wanted to make a video right now, so I was just like, we're just gonna do it. And I wanted to talk about changing career goals, changing life goals, um, and just kind of like when you want to or are going to make a big like life change. And full disclosure, I'm kind of in this process, which is kind of why I wanted to talk about it. Just for context, I just graduated from college last month, and at the beginning of the semester, I realized that I wasn't really wanting to do what I thought I wanted to do. And I wasn't really happy with my major. I had very different goals and what I thought I wanted to do as a career, which was kind of like being a grassroots organizer. I was like, I don't really think I want to do that anymore. And, I was kind of in a tough position because it was the last semester of college. And I would have had to, like, if I wanted to major in something else, I would have had to do school for like a whole nother year. Um, and, I didn't want to spend the money and do all of that. So I just graduated. Um, but it was tough. It was a very tough semester. It was an academically tough semester. It was just hard all around. And, I was trying to figure out, how am I going to make these changes and all that stuff. And I'm still kind of trying to figure that out. So, first of all, I would say that if you are even thinking about, making some changes or kind of changing your trajectory or changing careers or whatever, um, there's probably a reason for it. Sometimes those reasons actually aren't entirely pure, if that makes sense. Like you might have, been in a situation where you were burned by somebody or you were burned by something and you want to kind of run away from it, or, it's kind of made you see a different side of whatever it is we're talking about and you want to leave. And that's actually partly true for me as well. So I had some like negative experiences and I was like, yeah, this sucks. And I realized those negative experiences weren't all that uncommon and that kind of scared me. So, I think definitely like figure out why you want to make a change. And if you're willing to do the work, because typically like making like really big changes is actually a ton of work. When it comes down to it, you're going to have to do some work. So figure out if that's something you're willing to do, if you're able to do. And I think also kind of taking the first steps is really important. So, because it's so easy to say, like, I want to do this or I want to do that, but then just like not following through. So, just making a bunch of small goals and, setting yourself up for success. So, starting to research, a different career path and maybe if you need a different degree, looking into degree programs and kind of doing the necessary steps. Because, like, for example, myself, I'm thinking about getting into business. And so I actually set up an LLC for myself and I learned how to do that. I'm putting together a business plan. I'm actually planning to possibly get an MBA and I'm taking the GRE test in hopes of maybe enrolling or applying for an MBA program. So, I'm kind of taking the steps of like, okay, here's what I would need to do in order to do that. And I mean, even taking like free business classes and, like doing stuff like that that's going to allow you to learn the ropes, so to speak, because you are going to obviously have a lot to learn and all of that. So, definitely doing that and doing the work and making sure that you know kind of what you're going into. And then I think a huge part of it though is kind of you have to let go of fear and your ego. Because doing something new is really hard and you're not going to be good at it right away and you're going to face struggles and you're going to fail. And that can be like really scary and like really hard to even handle sometimes, especially if you're really good at whatever it is you're doing now or you're not used to being in a position like that. So I think accepting that is really important and knowing that that's going to be the road, and it's not going to be easy. Um, but I think sometimes that's the whole point, is having something that's more challenging, um, because doing something that you know all the time or that is just easy and comes naturally, even so to speak, isn't always exciting and doesn't feel rewarding. I know I was in that position where I felt like I knew everything there was to know about my field and it wasn't exciting. Like I didn't feel like I was learning things. I didn't feel like I was engaged And so I was like, I want to be somewhere where I feel like I'm always learning something. And every day that I go to class, I'm learning a bunch of new things. And I wasn't in that position at that point. And so I realized I wanted to do something that was kind of out of the box and out of my comfort zone. But I think realizing that that's going to be part of it, um, you have to be able to be vulnerable and allow yourself to do that. So that's really important. And I think figuring out a plan and definitely also having support, like having somebody you can confide in and talk to about things in this area, maybe going to therapy, doing stuff that kind of allows you or to be with people who are also going through this similar transition. And because you're definitely going to have struggles, like I said, so you kind of need somebody or people to support you, um, and help you when you need it. Um, and I think the other thing is that, sometimes you have to accept that, well, pretty much all the time, you have to accept that it's not going to be immediate. You're not going to get results probably tomorrow. It might take a few years even to really get where you want to be with the change. And, sometimes that means like struggling through and, like for example, like right now, I'm not looking for a business job or something like that. I'm looking kind of for a communications job because that's what I have experience in. Um, I mean, my degree doesn't really speak to that necessarily, but my professional experience, so to speak, is in that area mostly. So, it's more realistic for me to get a job doing that. And, I need to start bringing in income or more, I guess, because I do have part time jobs right now, but more income um, and saving and, doing all that stuff. So I recognize, like, I'm not going to be able to get what I want immediately. So I'm going to have to, do a little bit of work first and then, start to move into a different career. Um, but I don't know. I don't think we talk about these things enough. You hear about midlife crises, even quarter life crises, but like people just kind of look at them as kind of just being a joke or, just kind of stupid. But really they're not, and I think a lot of times people are very afraid of making changes in their lives. And, sometimes that's what you need to do. And I think, you should want to do new things and conquer new things and really experience life to the fullest. I think it means trying new things and taking on challenges, and change is obviously a really big part of that. So, if you have something that you want to change about your life, I would say do it. Don't second guess it or question it or talk yourself out of it. Just, go ahead and start doing it and kind of see where you are and where your head is. So, hope this was somewhat helpful. And I will see you guys later.